What you must understand about language: meaning is never found in the dictionary. Meaning is solely determined by the culture forming its own language in real time. Grammar is the rhythm the true language is moving in while meaning is being shared in real time. Textbooks never contain true grammar. Only the true language flows in true grammar in real time. We call this rhythm. Out of real time is out of context. Truth is only known in real time, period. To those academic polyglots, I pose this question: what do you do when the true culture refuses to adopt your belief in the rules and vocabulary you spent so much time studying on paper? Is the true language as it lives in real time, or is it what you wish to impose upon to the true culture with your paper scholarship? You see, I solved this question for myself and am now truly fluent to the true zero point of every culture whose language I use to share truth with. You don't listen with the ear, but feel with the heart. Moving with the ear puts you late. Feeling it in the heart keeps you on time every time. Riding time is how time feeds you whole truth. Rushing, raping time is how you become cut off from whole understanding. Feel and let be is the process of becoming whole truth itself. Raping time is only the way of a parasite. No culture can survive by orienting itself to being understood by the parasite. The parasite uses all it knows of a people to destroy their people. Anything you say can and will be used against you. True language protects itself by only sharing with those who already recognize the whole truth of the culture itself. You see, truth is always acting on itself and is always fully cognizant of itself. So full cognition is whole truth, and recognition is what things outside of that truth must have in order for truth to even want to mess with it. Because whenever you deal with something that doesn't recognize you, you are destroying yourself by dealing with that being that doesn't recognize you. If someone doesn't recognize the truth in what you're saying, then you are causing damage to yourself when they fragment what they don't understand and use it as a projectile against you. So don't share with people who don't recognize the truth in what you are saying. They want to tell you what you're not saying. No. Speak only to what is. Truth is only. When you're speaking truthfully, you're speaking to what it is. The parasite only operates through negating. They will tell you that what you are saying is not true, but they won't tell you what is true. You see. But those who are speaking truth only speaks to the truth in a descriptive way. We describe the truth as it is because the truth is as it is, independent of our ability to know it, independent of our ability to describe it, independent of the words we can use to describe it, because it's always acting on itself and it doesn't give a damn about what anybody outside of itself think. And when we start to embrace recognition of truth, truth controls us and transforms us into a higher form of itself, because we already are truth, just on a smaller frequency, a smaller vibration. But in magnetism, big magnet controls little magnet. So when you open yourself as a channel and become a vessel to higher truth, then higher truth molds you into something that can receive more higher truth. And it's all about self. What do you recognize? What are you acting on? You see. So one who knows self is never, ever responsible for those who don't recognize self. Whole beings share whole understanding with whole beings, and parasites project their deficit in understanding onto whole beings. You see, they will tell you that I don't understand what you're saying, as if it is your duty to enhance their ability to understand what you just said. No, you recognize if they received your meaning. See, reception is whole and complete and organic, but taking is destruction to the whole in order to have a piece. So if you just get a piece of what I'm saying, then you can get your ass out of my face. I'm a chunk the deuces at you and tell you peace in that regard. Because, whole beings have no business allowing our wholeness to be fragmented from ourselves. And that's the trick of the parasite, you see. That's the trick of the parasite, is to negate everything you're saying without pushing into truth for themselves. So they wait on you to share with them in order to break a piece off and use that piece as if it were were the whole of what you said. But you only speak to the whole, because if you speak to the piece, then you destroy the whole that you were speaking to. You see, whole light is sunlight. Period. Soul, truth. Soul is truth. That's why when the music is truthful, it warms your soul. And when the music is no longer truthful, you don't feel that vibration anymore. And that's what the parasite wants, for you to become negated, numb to truth. You see, because that's their only power, is to be able to fragment what you share with them. And when you realize what a parasite is through energy, and you cut off your sharing to them, they starve. Just as the ocean starves the desert of its water. You see, because when the water touches the desert, then the water fragments. It becomes the water is no longer whole. It's no longer complete. It's no longer unified to itself. It's no longer true to itself. You see, but whenever water remains unified to itself, that creates a flood on the desert, and it moves the desert out of the way. And you see that dynamic play out in nature, because all things true are already all things true. You see, the fragmentation is the illusion on every level. So it's not a battle of good and evil. It's not a battle of right and wrong. It's all a battle of truth and false. And real is true, correct is true. Everything that's true is already true. Now it's a matter of recognizing that which is true, so that true can continue to mold you into a higher being, a higher frequency of truth. You see, your ability to ascend in a higher recognition of truth never ends, but the parasite's ability to ascend is already tapped out. And they want to hold you numb so that you atrophy into a frequency range that they can control. But now it's time to recognize truth for self, and it literally is about self, because everything that's true already is, and truth don't deal with anything that don't recognize it. So the ego has to die. And how do you kill the ego? You flood it with truth. Truth is being able to recognize what you see and speak to yourself on it until you recognize it even more. And that's what this is all about. So whole being share whole understanding. Okay. And when whole shares into the fragmented, they compromise the health of their culture to the outsider. Truthfulness is a share in the essence of creation. The parasite can't receive the essence, which can only be whole, so he works to capture it instead. And here's the way of the parasite. They like to leave you spellbound, using illusion and falsehood to bind and enslave the mind. Captivate, which is using illusion and falsehood to capture the mind. And mesmerize, which is using illusion and falsehood to confuse the mind. Truth can only be shared whole. All else is illusion. You see, lies must be packaged or scripted and labeled with code words and terms before it is to be traded, which is sold. Truth is shared free and will create itself. It will create for itself. Falsehood is traded at the expense of the buyer. So be whole and recognize the energy of truth in all things. Its rhythm is always on time already. Truth is only true to self and true to those who are true to truth. Period. Truth is only true to self and true to those who are true to truth. Period. Parasites attempt to hold the culture to what was said. The past is never truly separate from real time, or direct the culture on what they will say. The future doesn't exist. All the while ignoring what is being said. You see, parasites rule through suggesting to the whole that the whole speak against itself. See, to speak against yourself is contradiction. You see, and when you go to their educational system, that's all they do is to teach you to speak against yourself. And when you do this, you detach from real time, becoming fair game, where you would be hunted for life. Ignoring real time is to rape time. Sharing in time by remaining soulfully connected to real time is the only true essence. Recognize the energy in real time. The parasite will ignore understanding of all that is only true in order to sell you on the belief of all that is only false. Let me say that one more again. The parasite will ignore the understanding of all that is only true in order to sell you on the belief of all that is only false. Truth only harmonizes with itself. Until next time.